Hi, everybody. I want to show you a quick video. Something came out yesterday around an upcoming grant deadline for 300K, and usually you don't have a lot of time to submit it. And this was a classic example. And the lesson here is you've got to get ready for the grants that you like well in advance before they open. Oftentimes people will see a grant, it's closed, and they're like, it's closed, darn it. But I'm going to show you how important, just in a short video here, how when a grant's usually closed, it's often a good thing because you can get to know these people, i.e. the grant agency. You can get prepared in advance. But just look how serious this would be. And we're talking 300 grand too. And in this example, it's in Alberta, but it would apply anywhere in Canada, really, that pertains to grants. So let's check it out. So this came out yesterday, and it's an Alberta Innovates Grants. It's a program relaunch, Digital Health Sandbox. Open for applications. So one of the first lessons here is you definitely, like if you're a health tech company and you're not getting this notification by email, you want to solve that right away, because oftentimes, having done this for years, is people find out too late, and it's still tricky. I know we have all kinds of reminders and et cetera, to find out whether or not when the grant opens, but people are busy, people are traveling, people are on holidays. This could have went to your junk folder. There's many ways that you could have missed a grant. And anyways, let's go through this. So you find out here, and look at this. It's $300,000. But this is the first thing I want to show you. Look at this. It opens on October 6th. It closes on November 6th. Oh, they're going to let you know in December. That's kind of cool. And they'll let you know. Now, this is no joke either. I mean, any tech company out there that could win 300K, I would say, especially at this stage of development, it's a game changer, right? Definitely have this narrow window. It was closed, and I'm going to show you why it is so important to get this sort of master grant application built before this thing opens. So you come over here. This is the actual website, so it gives you an idea of what they're counting. But then you go into this program guide, and if you click that, so this is in the program guide here. Look at this. Anyone who's wrote an Alberta Innovates application knows that these are looking for like this is a large application, right? Pro forma, financial projections. They want to know about the team, the project, the competition. It's full on application, full large master grant application. Alberta Innovates evaluates, and this would be similar in any province you're watching, based on the strength of the innovation opportunity, the market opportunity, talking about competition, market pull, those type of things, which are really important. Who else is doing it? Why is yours better? Definitely we don't have competition. I tend to generally detest that. A commercialization pathway, a project, do you have a clear project in mind? Do you have a little bit of project management skills that allow you to say, hey, what are we doing? What are we not doing? To what standard are we doing it? What assumptions do we have? The team biographies written? And then, of course, your economic and social impacts, or health impacts, they're calling it. Folks, I can tell you right now, having done this for years, that, this is like a 3-month process. Like, let me give you an example. To be done well, market opportunity. Well, how are you going to demonstrate in your application that this market opportunity right here is strong? Well, you're going to have to collect like testimonials. You're going to have to show market traction. And these, especially if you rely on someone else, that's going to take time to get, right? Or if you're, it showed the TRL earlier, you may want to say, we have a letter of intent from a first customer, someone that's, willing to get involved. Well, now they're going to need who knows how long to get that letter of intent done, because they're going to have to get it signed off internally, and it's going to the government, and they're going to be concerned, and they're going to have to talk to their board, and it's going to get delayed. And they're not available. They just went out to a trade show or whatever, early vacation. They're going to be away. It always happens at the worst time, right? Like basically what I'm trying to show you here is like everything has to go perfect, which, how often in life does that happen? for this get to go in. Now, there's some counter arguments like, yeah, you can get the draft in and sometimes they'll come back, but you want to submit a compelling application, and this takes a lot of time. So a couple of lessons here. One is, listen, you've got to start much earlier. Even on things like a team biography, I cannot tell you the number of times I've worked with teams and they found out, doing a proper team biography, hey, I didn't know that our CEO had started 2 companies. I had no idea. Or if you ask them, hey, what's your greatest, business achievement? And they'll say something like, well, we grew sales from X to Y. Or, even a hobby, like what kind of hobbies do you have? And they'll be like, oh, I do this. And you'd be amazed, even in grants, sometimes when you go meet the grant agency, if you have a hobby and they have a similar hobby, it can be like, a point of discussion where you just get to know each other. And I guess that's the last thing. I could go on forever here, but the last thing is, in an ideal world, they'll know you, i.e. the grant agency will know you before you apply. And with 4 weeks, it opens, it closes. If you've never met these people, if you've never had a chance to build a relationship with them, you don't want to be going in cold usually. Hopefully you met them at the conference in the Inventures Conference in the spring or something like that. And, you've been working with an advisor there. So anyway, the moral of this lesson is you've got to get started very, very early in grants. Don't be afraid of the grant deadline being closed. Take your time and build a master grant application, knowing that, hey, you're in the grant space. When it does open, we're going to have a lot of the key pieces in place, especially those things that rely on other people. Remember, grants aren't like a test, right? It's not like you're like, oh, it's due tomorrow morning, I'm going to crash study the night before. You can't do that in grants because you rely on other people's information. Now, having said that, as you get to build this master grant application, sure, you'd be shocked how many clients I've had that a grant would open. They found out about it 3 days, but they had all these pieces, these testimonials, these letters of support, these statistics were all gathered. And in an afternoon, they put it in, they win $250,000. You eventually get there, but that's the story. Anyway, there you go. That's how you get ready in grants. I hope that finds you. I'm Dave Kincaid. You can find me at Alberta Business Grants or the Advanced Grant Writing course or Grant Gazette. Have a great day. Bye-bye.